Hi everyone, my name's Evangeline and I'm the owner of Makeup Tips. And in this video, I'm going to be teaching you a really awesome little handy trick that you can use to create those really beautiful fluffy textured brows that are so on trend right now. So all you're going to be needing is a tinted brow gel that does dry down quite a bit. So you don't want to be using something that is going to have that really sort of wet texture to them even after you've applied it 5 minutes later, but you want to be using something that can dry down quite a bit. And you also want to be doing this tutorial before you applied all of your makeup. Otherwise, what can happen is it can sort of start to get a little bit messy around the outside of the brows, and you don't want to be ruining all your hard work that you've put in with your foundation and the rest of your makeup. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using the Benefit 3D Brow Tones. I particularly like this one because it has a whole heap of different shimmers in them that can really help to catch the light and make your eyebrows look a lot thicker. But basically, as long as it's something that dries down and it's tinted, it's going to be perfect. Another one that I like for this tutorial is the Brow Artist Sculpt. Now these aren't necessarily a super precise brow gel, but that is why they're great for this tutorial. So what I recommend doing first off is taking a brow spoolie or a sort of wand that is similar to that of a mascara, and you're just going to brush up the brows. You can either buy some disposable ones, you can use one that's on the end of a product, or you can clean off an old mascara wand and just make sure that it is dry and it's going to work fine. So what I'm doing is I'm going in with this brow gel and I'm applying it to the brows. And what you almost want to do is you want to sort of wiggle it through the brows. So you're wiggling it through the brows. This is quite a universal shade as well because it's going to work on lots of different skin tones. You can grab more product if you need it because we are going to be using this in a bit of an unconventional way. Wiggling it through the brows. You can also go sort of a little bit in the opposite direction of the hair growth, and as you can see, this is starting to get a little bit messy already, but that is why we've done this now. Now for the tail, because you still want to make sure that you've got a defined tail, you can just take the actual brow gel and just sort of draw it. Because this one does have that sort of angle to it, it is possible to do that. So just pushing it through the brows, finishing off the tail. Don't worry about it looking sort of perfect. This is not perfect brows at this point. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to let that brow gel dry for a bit. So the brows should basically be dry to touch and you shouldn't be getting any sort of product come off when you touch them. So mine aren't quite ready yet, but they'll be done soon. So now that that product's dried, we're going in with a clean, dry spoolie again, and we're going to sort of wiggle it through the brows. You can be a little bit rough. It's not going to work if you're not a bit rough, and we're going in there right like that, wiggling it through, and of course wiggling it at the tail as well, just to get rid of that sort of cakiness that we entail. I do recommend going in with another coat of brow gel again, just to give you that real bit of thickness, and just make sure that you lay it on nice and thick. You should be able to see the product more than you can see the hair. Adding that bit more product, and you can sort of go in with that wand and use the tip just to make sure that you're getting all those brow hairs. Okay, so we're just going to let that dry again. So now that the brow gel has dried, we're going to go back in with that spoolie and we're going to massage the wand through the brows and just give them that beautiful texture that we all want. And there you go. That's the brows looking a lot fluffier. Now I'm just going to do the other brow using that same technique, going in with the applicator and sort of rubbing it through the brows a bit, making sure that I apply quite a bit of product. And again, not worried about being sort of neat and tidy because as you can see, it was super easy to clean it up, and that's why we've done it before we have done our foundation, etc. Laying the product on quite thick. Also like to go just there at the inner corner as well, where I don't have as many hairs as I'd like to. And then you know the drill, let it dry and we'll come back in a minute. So going in and fluffing up those brows a bit. Pushing them all over the place so that they look nice thick and natural. And I like to just do a little bit on that brow as well. Really nice, fluffy and textured. A little bit of makeup remover just to remove that excess product. So there you go, that's your beautiful, fluffy, sort of textured brow. Now you're probably wondering, now that I've got all of this going on, what do I do with the rest of my makeup? So for me, I think that a fluffy, sort of textured brow looks best when it's not worn with a lot of makeup, because it is quite a sort of natural look. So I like to pop on a bit of like luminizing or radiance enhancing primer. So this one's the Laura Mercier foundation primer in Radiance, and I'm just going to smooth that on over my skin. And of course, obviously be careful around the brows as well, because you don't want to disturb them. You can also just add a little bit of concealer. So I'm just concealing that a little bit there. And you can also just use a little bit on your under eye circles as well if you need it. Most people do like to add a little bit of sort of product underneath the eyes just to brighten it up a little bit. And then you can go in and add either a little bit or a lot of mascara. I'm just adding a little bit of the It Cosmetics Tight Line mascara here to my lashes, just to make them look a little bit fluffy. Final thing I like to do is take a lipstick, preferably one that is a little bit bold, and just pop that on. And as you would expect, I like to do the good old pat it in a little. There you go, that's sort of that beautiful, really textured brow with a natural eye, a little bit of pop of colour on the lips, and some beautiful, really natural skin. If you do want to apply foundation, you obviously can. It's really entirely up to you and what your skin is like. There you go, that's my tutorial on beautiful, fluffy, textured brows. And as you can see, it was so easy to create it as well. So super easy. No fuss whatsoever. All you need is that one good tinted brow gel. I use the Benefit 3D Brow Tones, and then you're just going to want a clean, dry spoolie as well, just so you can sort of brush that product through. So I hope that you did enjoy this video and this sort of mini tutorial. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and leave a comment below telling me if you'd like to see more of these sort of easy girl, quick tip sort of style videos that are very similar to the types of tips that I've done on makeup tips for many years now. I'll also make sure to leave some info in the description box below where you can learn more about the brow gels that I recommend for this technique, and also some links where you can follow me on all my social media channels and networks.